In Roblox, we have these things called properties. Properties are settings which control how an object looks or behaves. Every object has its own properties. For example, parts have color, which changes color obviously, and size, which affects its size. Different objects have different properties. For example, parts have properties which are different from spawn locations. Spawn locations has this duration for the force field when a player joins, and the part just doesn't have it. Different things have different properties. You can look at and change properties directly from Studio, or you can use a script. Let's look at some frequently used properties from Studio first. We use the fancy little properties window right here to look at and set an object's properties. If you don't see this property window, go to the top tabs up here, click view, and click on this properties button, and that will toggle on and off the properties window. So we're going to need that open. I'm going to add a part. There it is. To look at an object's property, we need to select the object, and then we can see the properties in the window. We can scroll through it to find the property that we need, or we can click at the search bar here and type a specific property, or use the shortcut Control-Shift-P. And then type the property you're looking for, like name, and it'll appear right there. You can change most of these properties by just clicking on them, but some of these properties are read only, and you can tell they are that because they're grayed out. The color is white on both the property name and the value, but here it's all grayed out, so we can't change this no matter how hard we click. That means it's a read only property. We can only use it and read it, but we can't set it to anything. If you look like mass is grayed out too, but that's because it's affected by other factors. For example, if we change the part size, you see how I made the part bigger? Now the mass is changed because size is one of the things that affects mass. So it can be changed, but we can't directly change it ourselves in a lot of cases. I'm going to show you how to change some of the more frequently used properties. For example, color. We just click on here on the color anywhere on the value side. And then here we have a nice grid of colors. We can click anything here, or we can drag it here and give it the right amount of value that we'd like. And then you hit OK, and now we have a nice colored part. The size, it has 3 values, one for X, Y, and Z. As you can see right now, the X is 4, the Y is 1, and the Z is 2. We make the X 10 and it'll stretch out this way because 10 is bigger than 4 obviously. Or we can change this to 10 by 10 by 10 and that'll give us a cube. If you just want to look at one dimension at a time, you can click this little drop down and there you can change it to 3, 1, 4. Whatever you want. Just click on the drop down and then you can click any material on here. It'll change. Let's look at pavement. Oh, look at this paved part. Another one you can change is the transparency. Right now it's at 0. It doesn't have any transparency at all. And if we change it to 1, that makes it 100% transparent. You see, you can't see the part. And 0.5 would be about halfway. Or we can just use this scroll bar to scroll through the transparencies. And the last property I'm going to show you is the name. Right here we can name it pink parts. And notice that it'll change in the Explorer too. You can either do it by hitting the F2 key to rename it, or right clicking and then the rename. Or you can just change it on the property and it's the same thing that you're changing. But let's go ahead and leave it as part. Let's open up a script in Server Script Service to learn more about comments. Let's name it change color, and I'll get rid of this script. Or you could just rename the old one if you'd like, but I'm just going to get rid of it. We're going to delete all the lines in the script, no matter if you made a new one or if you used the old one. Just delete everything. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about comments. Comments are lines of code that do not do anything. Seems pretty useless, right? Well, when we write code, we are doing it for the computer to understand normally. But when we write comments, it's for humans to understand. This is especially useful for organization, which is really important to get right as soon as possible because you want to get into the habit of doing that nice and early. It doesn't matter too much now, but when we're writing hundreds of lines of code, organization is going to matter. So let's start doing it right now. You can make a comment easily by typing 2 dashes. It's the key right next to your numbers if you don't know. And now everything that we write in here will be grayed out. See how it's all gray? That means that it's a comment and it will not affect the script in any way. But remember, it's everything to the right of these 2 dashes. If I write something here, this is bad. This is not a comment. But if we are writing our comment to the right, then it's okay. This also helps people understand your code without reading it line by line. Or it can help you when you're looking back at your code in the future. I want you to make a comment, and the comment should say, changes the color of a part. Try to figure out how to do that on your own. The way you do that is 2 dashes and then you just write changes the color of a part. Comments are really good like this when you use them as like a heading for the next section, like I said, so people don't have to read line by line. We want to access this specific part, but in order to do that, we need to describe the location in a way that the script can understand it. I don't mean a physical location, I mean the location within the Explorer window. In a previous video, I told you about how all these things over here, these guys, they're all services, and we put stuff in there depending on what they do. All of these services are within an even bigger thing that's hidden. We can't see it in the Explorer. But this bigger thing is called game. So if we want to access one of these services, we have to go through game first since they're all inside of game. To get to game, all we do is write game in all lowercase. And then we write a dot and then the service we want to access, like workspace. I told you that all the things that are in the physical world, like this part, this spawn point, the base plate, they're all inside of workspace. So that's why I'm showing you with workspace. Anything in the physical world is in workspace. Game is lowercase, but to access the service you want to write it exactly as it appears in the Explorer. That's why I capitalized the W. The dot just means you want to access something inside of it. So I told you workspace and every other service is inside of game. So we start from broadest and go to more specific. So game is the all-encompassing thing where everything's inside of, and then workspace is a step down from that. If we wanted to access server script service, try to figure out on your own how we can do that. The way you do that is by writing game.server script service exactly as it appears with the correct capitalization when needed. The part we want to affect is inside of workspace, you see? It's indented over and it hides when we disappear the drop down, so that means it's inside of workspace. The next thing above it, that's not indented. So you know that the part is inside of workspace, which is inside of game, so figure out how to access this part on your own. We do that by doing game.workspace.part, and that's accessing this specific part right here. Because if we just say part, that doesn't mean anything. But now we're telling it, hey, inside of this game, go to workspace and then go to part, and that's the part we want to deal with. So if you did this, good job. But since accessing workspace is so common, Roblox gave us a shortcut. Instead of writing game.workspace every time to access it, we can just write lowercase w workspace, and these two are the same thing. Just write lowercase workspace without the game and the dot. It's just a little shortcut, if that makes sense to you. If this way makes sense to you, go ahead, but it's better to just do what everyone else is doing, just in case you want to work as a team one day. And even if you don't, it's probably for a reason, that they do things the way they do, or do whatever you want. So knowing this little trick, try to access the part using the shortcut. And that would be workspace.part. That is accessing the same part as we did before, but a little bit easier. So we need to talk about this thing called RGB. RGB is just a way to make any color by using a combination of red, green, and blue. Each of these colors taking a value from 0 to 255, 0 being none of that color, and 255 being as much of that color as possible. The RGB values are represented by 3 numbers, one for red, one for green, one for blue. They're separated by a comma. For example, if we were to do 0, 0, 0, that means that this color has 0 red, 0 green, and 0 blue, and this is known as black to us humans. I'm going to make another number and tell me how much red is in it, how much green is in it, and how much blue is in it. How much red is in this one? 255. How much green? 255. And how much blue? 255. So as much of every color as possible. This color we call white. Okay, those were really easy, but I'm going to do some random numbers now. How much red is in this color? 240. That's a lot of red. How about for green? 140. It's about half of the amount of green. And blue? 50 blue. Not a lot of blue. And if you're curious, this color would end up being an orangish color. So that's the basics of RGB. We're going to use that to change the part's color. To change the part's color, we just write a dot like we did before, and then we write color exactly as it appears when we select the part. And look at the color. It's capitalized here. So we capitalize it here. You can think of the properties as all being inside of the part because we use a dot to access it, the color of the part in workspace. So whenever you want to change a property, you just type in a dot and then the name of the property you would like to use. Like if we wanted to change the name, we would write a dot in the name, a dot in transparency for transparency. Yeah, but we want to do the color today, exactly as it appears, remember. Capital C color, capital C color. You notice as you're typing sometimes, Roblox provides you a list of potential things. It knows we're dealing with a part, so it gives you a list of part properties. We can go ahead and look for the property we want by scrolling through here, or we can begin to type and oh, now color appears. That's the one I need. You can either hit the enter key or the tab key and it'll auto finish it. And that can save you a decent amount of time if you'd like. That's obviously optional. You can ignore it, but it can save you some time as well. Now we want to set the color equal to something. Since we want to set the color, we have to use the equals key. Color looks nicer when you leave spaces. You can just leave it like this, but it's good practice to leave spaces, so it'll make it look prettier. Since we're doing a color, we can't use a string like we went over before or a number, since a color is a little more complex than just text or a number. You have to use a new data type. We have to write it in a way that the script will understand. To do this, we specify that we're going to give it a color 3, and this just lets the script know, hey, I'm going to give you a color, okay? And now there's lots of methods to give the computer a color, so we want to specify what kind of method we're doing. So we write a dot from RGB, since that's the method we just went over. It's a pretty easy method. So you tell it, hey, we're going to give you a color in the form of RGB. And when you just write the dot, you can see the other forms you could do, but let's just stick to RGB for now. It's simple. Within the parentheses, we can just go over what we did before, giving it a value for the red, a value for the green, and a value for the blue, separated by a comma. Let's change the color to have as much red as possible, a decent amount of green, and just a little bit of red. And let's go look at the part. Wow, nothing happened. Remember that a script only runs when we play the game, and we can simulate this by play testing. And now you see our part has changed into that yellow from the script. Pretty cool. And using this, we can change it to whatever color we'd like. Like maybe you want a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. So yeah, change it to whatever color you'd like and have fun changing the colors. Bam. Last thing, you could do it like this and that'll work nice, but if you just space out after the comma, it just looks a little bit nicer, you see? So get in the habit of leaving spaces here after the comma and before and after the equal sign too. I mean, you tell me, this is how I used to do it, but then I'd like ask for help on my code and everybody's like, this is ugly, you need to work on that, this is ugly. I never thought I'd work with anybody on my code. So I'm like, I'll just do it ugly, I don't care. Then I started posting for help and everybody kept telling me it was ugly and it was hard to read. So yeah, I just got into the habit of making my stuff look nice. So even if you aren't planning on working with anyone, I still recommend doing it, but you do you.